Hi, Jamie here. Thanks for taking a couple of minutes to watch this video. Today, I want to focus on something that's really important, and that's how to financially prepare for a divorce. Let's face it, divorce is not easy. And whether you're the person asking for it or not, you're never going to feel 100% prepared. But there are things that you can do and things you should not do to financially prepare yourself for the divorce process. So let's dive right in. The first thing that I always recommend to potential clients that I meet with is to gather as much financial information as you can. It sounds simple, but it's such an important part of the process, especially when you're not the person in the relationship who's handling the day to day finances. There's an old saying, with knowledge comes power, and it really resonates with my divorce clients because without that knowledge of what there is or isn't, or what you may owe or what you don't owe, it's really hard to understand your financial rights and obligations. And having that information at your fingertips is invaluable. So, what type of information is it important for you to have going into those early conversations with an attorney? Certain things like copies of investment account statements, retirement statements, bank account statements, tax returns for the last several years can really help. If you have information about property that you own or debts that you may have, that information is also going to be really helpful to your attorney when you're having those early stage conversations. The next thing I always recommend for my clients who are going through a divorce is to look at your budget. It's really important to think about what you're spending your money on during the marriage and consider what your future expenses are going to be. This is not an easy exercise for most of my clients because, frankly, none of us want to take a step back and look at all of the things that we're spending money on a daily basis that we don't necessarily think about. But getting an early start on this in the divorce process will help you feel more ready. It's also going to help guide conversations that you're having with your attorney regarding equitable distribution and support, because understanding the marital standard and the lifestyle is very important. These are conversations that are going to help you make decisions about whether you can stay in the house or should stay in the house because you're financially able to do so. So, really having a grasp on that budget is key. Now that I've covered some of the things that you should do, let's talk about some of the common financial mistakes people make going into the divorce process. First is listening to advice from anyone and everyone. Let's face it, your sister's cousin's friend who got divorced in a different state with different laws has a completely different set of facts than you have in your case. And while their advice may be well intentioned, it can lead to problems in your divorce if you blindly follow it. It's not legal advice, and frankly, neither is the internet. So, you want to make sure that when you're getting advice from others, you're running it by your attorney and making sure you know what you should be doing going into your divorce process so that you're not financially hurting yourself. The next one may seem obvious, but I've seen it all. You want to refrain from making any big financial decisions right before you file for divorce. Unless buying expensive cars or art or something else is part of your marital status quo, you want to make sure you don't empty out the bank account a week before you file a complaint and go and do one of those things because it can have far reaching impact in your divorce case. Similarly, you don't want to change things going into the divorce process. If you take your spouse off of an insurance policy or change beneficiary information or take them off a bank account or cut them off from a credit card access, it can have a lot of impact on your divorce case. This is called departing from the marital status quo, and courts frown upon it 100% of the time. While it may make sense practically to start separating finances, you want to make sure you're consulting with your attorney and trying to resolve those issues amicably rather than acting on your own. Lastly, do not attempt to hide assets or run up debt immediately before you file for divorce. This type of financial manipulation is what we attorneys call divorce planning, and it is a serious issue in your divorce. It can have far reaching financial impact on you and can destroy your credibility when it comes to the courts. It's never a good idea, and we've seen it all, and frankly, the judges have seen it all, so just don't do it. Thank you again for watching today's video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope the information that you heard empowers you to make the next right step for you in your journey. And when you do, you'll feel more financially prepared. When that time comes, please don't hesitate to pick up the phone and call one of the attorneys in our office so we can help you through the process.